Okay, so set up like you're gonna hit a ball. So the main couple things we work on today. One, yeah, the knees have to be bent enough to be at the front end of the shoelaces. So straighten your legs a little bit too much. Remember, if your legs are too straight, your hips can't turn the way they're supposed to. So what does that put pressure on?
Your back.
Remember, these are made to be mobile. This is made to be what?
Stable.
So why was this muscle hurting?
Because these were stable and then the back had to be mobile.
Yeah, so that's part of it. So now act like you're gonna hit one towards the TV. So turn this direction. Remember, the very beginning of your swing, this is where your pressure is moving to your back foot. So it's not a whole lot of a shift, it's just more like the pressure moving slightly. Yeah. And then as you get to the top of your swing, then you're moving the weight back forward. So set up like you're gonna hit one. So remember, a bad version for you would be if you're swinging back, your pressure is already getting to your front foot way earlier in your swing. Like right in here, your pressure's already going forward. And then whenever you push off, that pushes you backwards, right?
Yeah.
So whenever you're pushing backwards, but you're trying to not fall backwards, that's also putting pressure on your back. So that's one more thing to kind of like focus on. Lastly, set up like you're gonna hit a shot that direction. So show me a very slow motion video of what your arms would do that would cause you back injury.
Okay.
Yeah, so that follow through. That pressure is staying on your lower back for way too long before everything's getting thrown out. So show me the good version. Yeah. And it's practicing, like I said, you can practice having the feeling of get into what feels like a perfect top of your finish position, and then swing back, and then try to get back to that same finish position.
Okay.
Need me to add anything to that? That all makes sense? Very basic chip shot. It's having the feeling of this wrist staying the same. Your chest is back and through. Your motor is the middle of your chest. Your hips are following. If you're doing late action with your hands, trying to do a low shot, one, it's hard to control loft. But two, you're adding a lot of spin. So you can hit a low shot with a lot of spin with late action. But if you're not trying to do that, if you're trying to basic chip shot, one of them is going to spin right away and one of them is going to roll out. So that's already a distance control issue. Like I said, this is one of the shots you want to be like very good at. Take one or two different clubs and practice having that feeling of like your motor is telling you how far to go and you're keeping all this pretty stable. Remember, like you did with that one too, you can hit a few shots with just your right hand and you're focusing on keeping that wrist about the same amount of bend the whole time. Last little part is by doing that, remember the bottom of your swing is more of a U, not a V. If your club is coming up a lot and going down a lot, you might be putting a little bit more spin on it by doing that, but this isn't a shot that really requires spin. We're trying to make this the simplest shot in the world. So the setup change we were talking about today was having the balls of feet, knees, and armpits lined up. Just remember, if your knees are too straight, the very beginning of your takeaway on your bad ones, where both of your hips were going in the same direction. You never want both your hips going in the same direction at any point in your golf swing. So having the right setup is making it to where your hips can be mobile, which makes your lower back what?
Stable.
Yeah. And that was like the main thing that we talked about from that angle. And then from this angle, just remember your weight is moving backwards at the very beginning of your takeaway, and then it's recentering and moving forward from there. And the last little piece we talked about is, remember, if your back is hurting a lot, you're not letting your arms fold the way they're supposed to. So your arms fold the way they're supposed to on that one. Whenever you have your arms very straight and you're following through, once again, you're putting a lot of pressure on your back. So if the muscle on the right side of your back is in pain, it should be, because there are a few different things in your swing that are causing that to happen. Does that all make sense?